Hey, welcome to the channel. If you like stories where humanity refuses to kneel, subscribe and stay with us. Let's begin. He had been hanging in the dark for 11 days, chains bit into his wrists, cold metal pressed against broken ribs, blood had dried in patterns across his face, mapping constellations of pain. The Vreth called their interrogation chamber the speaking room. Prisoners called it something else. They called it the place where truth was torn from your skull, like marrow from bone. Commander Marcus Vane had stopped screaming on day 3, not from courage, from exhaustion. The Vreth didn't need screams anyway, they had something better, the resonance web. A neural lattice technology that detected lies with absolute precision. Every falsehood triggered a response. Every deception lit up their sensors like a dying star. You could not lie to the Vreth. Thousands had tried. Thousands had failed. Now the door hissed open. Light flooded in. Harsh and clinical, Fleet Commander Corveth entered, his chitinous armor gleaming with embedded rank crystals. His compound eyes studied Marcus with something approaching respect. 11 days, Corveth said. You have endured more than most. Marcus lifted his head. His left eye was swollen shut. His lip was split in 3 places, but he smiled. Corveth paused. You find humor in your situation, human? No, Commander. Marcus's voice was a ruin, gravel and broken glass. I find clarity. Then perhaps you are finally ready to speak truth. I've been ready since day 1. Corveth stepped closer. You will tell us the location of your fleet, the defensive positions, the invasion routes. Marcus met his gaze. I'll tell you everything, and he meant it. That was the most dangerous part. Corveth had interrogated 400 humans during the war. He understood their patterns, their breaking points, the way fear eventually outweighed loyalty. But this one was wrong. The resonance web had never triggered, not once in 11 days of questioning. Every response from the prisoner registered as absolute truth, yet they had learned nothing useful. Tell me about the Antair station, Corveth demanded. Marcus nodded slowly. Antair Station is our primary resupply depot for the Outer Rim campaigns. It handles 70% of munitions distribution. The web remained silent. Truth. Corveth leaned forward. And its location. The station's official coordinates are classified Beta 79er in Fleet Command documents. Truth again. Give me those coordinates. I don't have access to Beta 79er classification. I'm Infantry Command, that's Navy jurisdiction. Truth. Corveth's mandibles clicked in frustration. Then tell me what you do know. I know the station can be reached in 14 hours from the Meridian jump point. Truth. But when Corveth's scouts checked the Meridian point, they found nothing. 14 hours in every direction, empty space. The human hadn't lied. So why were they no closer to victory? Corveth summoned his senior analyst, a Vreth named Syrinx who specialized in human psychology. Watch the recordings, Corveth ordered. Find the deception. Syrinx watched for 6 hours. When he emerged, his compound eyes were dim with confusion. He never lies, Commander. Then why do his truths lead us nowhere? Syrinx hesitated. Because, sir, I believe the human has learned to weaponize honesty itself. Corveth felt something cold slither through his thorax, something uncomfortably close to fear. They brought Marcus food, real food, not nutrient paste. A negotiation tactic. He recognized it. He accepted it anyway. His body needed fuel for what came next. Corveth returned with new questions, new approaches. He tried kindness. He tried brutality. He tried drugs that were supposed to lower inhibitions and sharpen memory. Marcus answered everything. How many dreadnoughts guard your core worlds? Earth's defensive fleet includes the ships stationed at Luna, Mars Orbital, and the Europa garrison. Truth, but useless. Everyone knew those existed. What is the weakness of your Admiral Chen? She underestimates enemies who appear disorganized. She's lost 3 engagements to forces she dismissed as chaotic. Truth, and valuable except Chen had retired 2 years ago. Where will your counterattack originate? Historically, human counterattacks launch from positions of perceived weakness. We strike where you think us broken. Truth, but so vague it predicted nothing. Every answer was a key that fit no lock. Corveth slammed his armored fist against the wall. You're mocking us. No, Commander, I'm answering you. With useless information, with true information, your technology confirms it. Corveth grabbed Marcus by the throat, lifting him until the chains screamed. What game are you playing, human? Marcus didn't struggle. His one good eye remained steady, almost peaceful. No game, Commander, just a different understanding of truth than yours. Explain. Your people see truth as binary, a thing either is or isn't, black and white. He coughed, blood flecked his lips. But humans, we live in the gray. Truth is context, timing, framing. He smiled again, and you never asked the right questions. Marcus had volunteered for this mission. 17 candidates had been screened. 12 had been trained. Only he had survived the conditioning. The program was called Gray Oracle. Its purpose was simple and terrible. Create operatives who could not be broken by truth detection, not through resistance, not through mental blocks, through something far more subtle. They rewired his understanding of language itself. Every statement he made was technically precisely true, but layered with misdirection, loaded with context only he understood. His truths were puzzles without solutions, maps without legends. He wasn't captured by accident. He surrendered because the Vreth needed to believe they had won. They needed to trust their technology. They needed to feed his answers into their strategic algorithms and make plans based on what they'd learned. Every word he spoke was a seed, and soon those seeds would bloom into fire. The door opened again, but this time it wasn't Corveth. A younger Vreth entered, female by the pattern of her carapace. Her eyes were different, quieter, more curious than cruel. "I am researcher Velith," she said. "I've been assigned to study you." "Another interrogator. A scientist. I don't care about your fleet positions." She tilted her head. "I want to understand how you do it." Marcus said nothing. "The way you speak," Velith continued. "It's beautiful, terrible but beautiful, like watching someone perform surgery with words. You almost sound impressed." "I am." She stepped closer. "And I think I'm the only one here who realizes the truth." Marcus tensed. "You didn't just answer their questions. You're feeding them exactly what they needed to hear." She met his eyes. "You want them to attack." For the first time in 11 days, Marcus felt genuine fear, not of pain, not of death, of being understood. Velith pulled up a chair and sat before him like they were colleagues, not captor and prisoner. "I won't tell Corveth," she said softly. "Not yet." "Why?" "Because I want to know why. Your mission, it's suicide. Even if your trap works, you won't survive it. You'll die here in chains, light years from anyone who loves you." Her voice carried no mockery. "What drives a species to breed such willing martyrs?" Marcus was silent for a long moment. "You wouldn't understand. Try me." He looked at her, really looked, saw the curiosity that burned behind those compound eyes, saw something almost approaching empathy. "We're not martyrs," he said finally. "We're investments." Investments? Every human life matters, but so does every human future. We measure the worth of sacrifice against the survival of something larger. He swallowed. "I have a daughter, she's 7, brown hair, gap-toothed smile. She thinks I'm a hero. You may never see her again, I know." His voice cracked just slightly. "But if this works, she might live. She might grow up in a galaxy where the Vreth don't hunt humans like animals." Velith was quiet. "That's beautiful," she finally said. "It's also true." "I know," she stood. "That's what makes it so devastating." She walked toward the door. "Velith," she paused. "Why help me even this much?" She didn't turn around. "Because I've read your history, Commander Vane, and I think my species is about to learn a very old human lesson." The door closed. Marcus began to count the hours. Corveth presented his findings to the Vreth High Command. 14 hours of interrogation data, analyzed, cross-referenced, fed into predictive algorithms that had never been wrong. "The human fleet is vulnerable," Corveth declared. "Their resupply lines are stretched thin. Their defensive gaps are clear. If we strike now, we end this war in one decisive blow." The High Command agreed. 300 warships were assembled, the largest offensive fleet in Vreth history. They jumped to the coordinates Marcus had provided, not directly, of course. He'd never given direct coordinates, but his truths, pieced together, painted a picture. Supply routes that crossed at specific points, response times that suggested garrison locations, weaknesses implied through carefully worded strengths. The Vreth fleet emerged from jump space in the Arcturus corridor and found themselves surrounded, not by a scattered defense force, by the entire human armada. 800 ships, dreadnoughts, carriers, gunships, all waiting, all powered, all hungry. Corveth's voice echoed across the command frequency. "Impossible," the human said. Admiral Chen's voice cut through the static. Yes, the very same Chen who had retired. "Commander Corveth, you were warned that humans strike from positions of perceived weakness." A pause. "Did you really think we'd send our best asset to be captured by accident?" Corveth's blood ran cold. Every truth, every answer, had been designed to lead them here. The first salvo tore through the Vreth flagship. In the speaking room, Marcus heard the distant rumble of explosions, felt the station shudder. He laughed, not with joy, with relief. Corveth found Marcus still hanging in his chains. Commander was wounded. Half his armor was burned away. Ichor leaked from a dozen wounds. Behind him, the station was dying, fires spreading, bulkheads collapsing. "You did this," Corveth snarled. "I answered questions. You destroyed us. I told the truth." Marcus met his eyes, no fear, only exhaustion. Every single word. Corveth raised his blade. "Your truth was poison. My truth was context. You heard what you wanted to hear, saw what you expected to see. I just made sure the picture looked right. That's still deception." "No, deception is speaking false words. I spoke true words in orders you couldn't assemble." Marcus coughed. "Your technology was never designed to catch that because your species never needed to. You evolved honesty as a survival trait, but humans, we evolved stories." Corveth's blade trembled at Marcus's throat. "I should kill you." "Probably. Give me one reason not to." Marcus smiled, bloody, broken, defiant. "Because I'm still telling the truth, Commander, and some part of you knows that if you kill me, you'll never understand how we did this. You'll never be able to protect your people from it happening again." Corveth's mandibles clicked. "So I should let you live as a teacher." As a warning, the station shook violently. Emergency klaxons screamed. Corveth looked at his blade, at the human, at the burning galaxy around them. Then he cut the chains. Marcus collapsed to the floor. Gasping, "Run, human!" Corveth's voice was hollow. "Run and tell your people what we are willing to become." They found Marcus drifting in a damaged pod 3 days later. The rescue team didn't recognize him at first. 40 pounds lighter, face a ruin of scars and burns, one eye permanently lost, but when they said his name, he smiled. "Did it work?" "It worked. The Vreth offensive is shattered. We've pushed them back 12 sectors." Marcus closed his eyes. Good. He spent 4 months in medical recovery, another 6 in psychological evaluation. The conditioning that made Grey Oracle possible had left permanent marks, shadows in his thoughts, echoes in his speech. He would never be the man he was before, but he was alive, and so was his daughter. She visited him on the day he was released, ran across the hospital lawn with that gap-toothed smile, brown hair flying. "Daddy," he caught her, held her, let the tears come without shame. "Hey, Bug. Mommy said you were far away saving people." "I was. Did you save them?" He thought of Corveth, a Velith of the 300 Vreth ships now drifting as debris. "Some of them," he said. "Not all." She hugged him tighter. "That's okay, Daddy, you tried." The war would continue for another decade, more blood, more sacrifice, more truths wielded as weapons. But in that moment, holding his daughter, Marcus understood something fundamental. Humanity didn't win wars through superior firepower or advanced technology. They won through stories, through the impossible alchemy of turning truth into triumph, through being the species that learned to lie with honesty. Everyone else saw weakness. Humanity saw a reason to fight harder. If that fire still burns in you, subscribe and keep it burning.